Lawmakers in Virginia voted this week to repeal the state's restrictions on abortion. Among the affected laws were a mandatory 24-hour waiting period before an abortion and standards requiring some abortion clinics to meet hospital construction codes. The state's governor is expected to sign the repeals into law. And joining us now is Olivia Gans Turner. She is president of the Pro-Life Virginia Society for Human Life. Olivia, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much.
It's grand to be with you and a very important time to be with you as well.
So tell us about the pro-life laws that were repealed. Give us some insight on that.
Well, this is very important for our viewers to understand, and that these laws were in place for over 20 years, or had about 20 years. The initial portion of the informed consent law was passed in 2001. It required that a packet of information provided by the Virginia Department of Health, not a religious group or a political group, the Virginia Department of Health, was to be given to women before they could make a decision to have an abortion. It contained information about medical facts about the baby, options for other care that might be available, as well as risks from abortion. Subsequent to that, in 2012, a new portion of the law was added, which required the ultrasound, and that women be given a chance to see the ultrasound so they could see their baby before they made this permanent life and death decision. All of that was literally tossed out, and women were thrown to the wolves with the decision that happened just within the last 24 hours. So basically, what happened in Virginia was we saw abortionists protected and not the women of Virginia or their babies.
Well, pro-abortion lawmakers say these laws were outdated and they were unnecessary and a burden to women. How would you respond to that?
I would respond as a woman who's had an abortion. Clearly, they don't understand the enormous amount of pressure, manipulation, and sometimes coercion that is involved whenever a woman makes the abortion decision. Abortionists themselves have been known to coerce women, and they certainly don't have any obligation to tell her the actual facts when they're going to be making money from the decision she's about to make. So in fact, when the law was instituted, we had heard, it took 14 years to get the law passed, and during those years we had years of testimony from women like myself talking about the deliberate effort to deny them access to factual information so as to continue the abortion decision. So we have to consider that when abortion is protected, we are not protecting women. And every legislator who voted for this yesterday, all of them received enormous amount of funding in the last elections from Planned Parenthood. So the debt was paid back yesterday and the day before when the Virginia General Assembly passed these bills.
Do you think it's likely Virginia's governor is going to sign the repeals?
Tragically, I do not. Tragically, I do believe he will sign them. He's sitting at his desk with a pen in hand waiting to sign them, because while he was in the Virginia General Assembly as a senator, he made it absolutely clear that he was radically in favor of abortion for any reason whatsoever, with no protections whatsoever, and he clearly has maintained that both as lieutenant governor and now as governor. His statements last year, where he acknowledged that he thought it was legitimate to kill a baby who might survive an abortion, make it evidently clear that he has not changed his position, and he will, with the pro-abortion leadership of the General Assembly, continue in that track. So the proof of the pudding is elections have consequences. And if you or your family members did not vote this last year, this is the result of what happens when we don't vote as Christians.
Yeah. Olivia, what do you think it would do, what it would take to put the pro-life measures back in place?
Exactly what I just said. Elections. We need to replace the majority back to a pro-life majority. It will take a long time. 2012 are the next statewide elections. It's also the year we'll have a chance to hopefully elect a pro-life governor. So you have to have a majority in both the House and the Senate again, and you need a pro-life governor in place to sign things into law. And I just want to remind everybody listening, if you're an EWTN watcher and you're a Virginian, please come and join us on February 13th at the Capitol in Richmond. We've had some big protests in Richmond recently on other issues. We need every pro-life citizen in this area to come to Richmond on February 13th and be seen and be heard. They cannot be allowed to get by with this without knowing that they are being watched.
Olivia, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on, so thank you.
Thank you.
Olivia Gans Turner, president of the Pro-Life Virginia Society for Human Life. Thanks again.